You're listening to a new episode of SunCast, the weekly series hosted by David Siegel that keeps you up to date on all the latest happenings with the Connecticut Sun. The Connecticut Sun have earned a double bye in the WNBA playoffs and a trip straight to the semifinals. Games 1 and 2 of their series will be at Mohegan Sun Arena on September 17th and 18th, with a Game 5 if needed on September 26th. Get your tickets by calling 877-SUN-TICKS or emailing tickets at ConnecticutSun.com. It was a great regular season with a lot of thrills and highlights, but the playoffs are going to be even better.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's David Siegel, and it's a pleasure to welcome you to a playoff edition of the Connecticut SunCast. The Sun are off this week, and they are getting ready to resume in the semifinals of the WNBA playoffs, a place where they haven't been in a while, and it's good to be back there. And speaking of good to be back, it's always a pleasure to welcome the captain of the team, Jasmine Thomas, to the SunCast. And Jazz, how are you?
I am good. I'm happy to be back on the show. Thank you.
Well, let's start with the time off thing, and we were just mentioning a little bit before we started this, and it's good news, bad news about being off in that you get to relax and get yourself a little healed up. But the other side of that is other teams are playing, and you guys are sitting there watching, and that's not something the players usually like to do, is it?
No, not at all. I mean, like you said, it is nice to have the rest and have some downtime after a long season. But, the downside to that is trying to, keep our intensity up in practice, keep our conditioning up, stay sharp and competitive in practices. So our last couple of days have been just that. And now we get an off day here coming up.
Well, I'm sure that after dropping the last two games, Kurt didn't have much of a problem in being a little fired up at the start, at least, of these practices to get you guys back on the right track.
I don't think he ever has a problem getting fired up.
But in all seriousness, the game against Chicago was obviously a game that you guys felt was important, and it was one of the better, more fun games to watch all season. The last game was kind of more about staying healthy. It was the take that I got on it. And while, of course, you guys wanted to win, it wasn't as big a mental hurdle. Would that be a good way to put it?
Yeah, I mean, just how things play out at the end of the season when teams are still playing for seeding. And, we, like you said, we definitely wanted to win that Chicago game. And but we weren't trying to lose any games. We didn't want to bring that, we wanted a good momentum going into this break. And while we dropped those games, it was good that we still have an energy about us right now, because everyone was, a little disappointed in how we finished. But, the upside is that we put ourselves in a position to finish that way and still have a second seed. So ultimately we accomplished the goal we wanted to. Well,
since you like to talk about yourself so much, let's talk about 3 consecutive all-defensive first-team honors. That is something that, is to be proud of, and the Sun is lucky to have, having you and Jonquel and Alyssa all make some level of all-defensive team. That's got to warm the coaches' hearts to see that you guys take defense so seriously.
I think so. Over our time here with this group together with Kurt and the coaching staff, we put a strong emphasis on defense because of our personnel, but also because we've realized just how much better our offense is when we're playing great defense, how much more fun the game is, our chemistry is better. So, I feel like I've always been pretty assertive from my standpoint of being vocal about how important defense is to me in my game. So, from a leadership standpoint, that has trickled down for sure. And then just with Alyssa, her even being on the second team, if you would watch her play defense, play basketball in general, but especially on the defensive end, she's easily a first-team selection. She's extremely versatile. She can guard 1 through 5, and the rim protection that we've got from JJ this season. We've always known she's capable of blocking shots, but this year she's been able to do that without fouling, and that's what's been great.
JJ also, of course, making first team all WNBA, AP honors are there, the WNBA league honors are there. So, the Sun is definitely racking up the fruits of their labor, finishing second overall. So the first round started. For quick thoughts, what did you think of the performances by Chicago and Seattle this week?
I think I definitely expected that from Chicago. I feel like they've been playing great basketball for a while now, and especially at the right time. So we knew that would be a tough matchup there. And then the Seattle, Minnesota. I mean, Seattle's been able to accomplish so much and have had people really have an opportunity to step up and stand out this season, which is cool to watch with Sue and Stewie being out. It's just been fun to watch them. So they absolutely should be proud of themselves. They deserve to have won that game. And then Minnesota can't hang their heads at all. They're very different. They're a different Minnesota team, and they still were able to put themselves into the playoffs in a position to, win a game in advance. So, they had a great season as well.
So did part of you say, man, why couldn't we have played without Taurasi the last 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're still a very talented team. They have some great players over there. It's unfortunate to see what happened with DG. I hope she's okay, and that's not something that's going to linger around for a little while. But yeah, they weren't 100%, and still a lot of respect for those players over there.
Absolutely.
They have things that they need to do in the postseason as well as the off season, if you can call it that.
Yes, absolutely. What off season? Now, one thing I did want to talk to you about is you were the community assist winner from the winner. Name that to acknowledge what you had done during Breast Cancer Month. You had the event there. You guys are also, doing, great things with JJ and trying to help with her GoFundMe for the Bahamas. Can you talk for a second, please, about how important it is for not just you, but it's, you see the team out and about in the community, and, the team just seems to really enjoy giving of themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just the character of this team. That's honestly the nature of this W as a whole. I think we take a lot of pride in, being personable, being out in our communities, making a difference whichever way we can, whether that's our home-based communities or, the cities in which we're playing. It's just important to us, and it's genuine. I think that's what you're seeing.
The fan base in Connecticut has been really taken to you guys. There were a couple of years when the attendance was starting to trickle down a little bit. Ever since Kurt's come in and you guys, along with him, attendance is growing. The fan base is really strong in terms of their support. So Fan Appreciation Night was loud, and it must be great to have that kind of support, knowing that it shows in the home record. Even though that game you drop, but 2 losses at home all year is pretty special.
Yeah, for sure. I was the player selected to go on the mic after that game, and that was exactly what I said. It's unfortunate that we dropped that game because their support all season has been phenomenal, and I'm happy that we're going to be able to play a series in front of them. That they deserve that. So
tell me what it's like having the time off now. Can you give people a little bit of an idea what your schedule is like compared to what it is in the regular season?
I mean, it's still practice. There's still a lot of media. In Connecticut, I believe they always tell us that we have significant media coverage. So, after practices, there's a lot of people to talk to. But in between, that last game in Indiana and playing on Tuesday, we've been able to triple some off days. Not consecutive because we are trying to stay sharp and make sure that we're, still focused on us and getting some good work in, but enough that we're taking advantage of the rest. So, and while we are basketball players, we are in the playoffs, we are really focused on the playoffs. A lot of people have things going on in real life as well. some time to kind of get some of those things out of the way too, so that when it's time to play, there's nothing else to focus on but that.
How far after the regular season do you have to go overseas?
I actually have made the decision to wait until January to go. So how that will work for me is that I guess somewhere around mid to late December, I'll see what offers are available, looking for point guards, and depending on what situation I want to be in, I'll sign at that time. So I will actually be taking these 2 months off.
Good for you. So now, does that mean we're going to see blogging, crafts, cooking, restaurants? What are we going to see out of you for the next few months?
We will see all of the above. This is the first significant time off that I've had. I can't even. Definitely, as a professional, this is the first time, but I can't even remember. This is a constant grind. I feel like from the AAU days, I can't remember actually having 2 months to just, work on myself, work on my body, and do some things off the court. So I'm excited about it.
I'm sure
I'll definitely be sharing it with everyone.
I'm sure Mom's looking forward to having you home for the holidays.
For sure.
So, all right, Jazz. So you got these games coming up this weekend. So I'm going to put you on the spot and let you be the prognosticator here. So is there anything we should look for? I'm not going to ask you to pick winners, but is there anything that the fans should be looking for out of these 2 matchups this weekend? The 4 teams, of course, being LA, Chicago, Vegas, and Seattle still playing. So what should we be looking for from the eyes of a point guard?
If we're talking about point guards, we can't not talk about the amazing season and the things incredible things that Courtney Vanderbilt is doing over there in Chicago. Can't go without talking about that. Her leadership with that team, I feel like, that's going to be a very hard team to beat. And that matchup with Vegas is one that's going to be extremely exciting to watch. And then LA, what are they like? They won 14 straight at home or something like that. So 14, 15, I don't know. It's just they're absolutely going to be a tough team to beat in that arena. And I just, it'll be exciting to see a confident Seattle team, because that's how they played against Minnesota. They just looked really confident about what they were doing and had some energy and excitement to them. So, it'll be, with them coming in as a bottom seed with nothing to lose and playing off of a good win the other night, I feel like it'll be fun to watch both matchups. But LA is going to be tough to beat at home, and Chicago is going to be tough to beat as well, I think.
Well, that Seattle team, nobody thought Phoenix was going to win any games last year either, and they went and won 2 in a row before finally getting knocked off in a series. So it wouldn't surprise me too much to see the way that they won yesterday with Natasha Howard not really contributing a lot, at least statistically, was pretty impressive. Yeah.
So I just. It's a great time for women's basketball in the WNBA, because I feel like things are spread out and pretty even across the board, where I really think people have opportunities to surprise people. So if you even look at us, we're sitting at the second seed and no one's picking us to win. So you never really know what can happen.
Yeah, that's my last question for you before to wrap this up is, there are a lot of people that aren't picking you. I've seen a lot of, it's going to be Washington and LA. What does that do for you guys? What do you guys really? Is that something that you just use it, or is it something that you guys just blow off? I mean, how does the team react to things like that?
I think the team as a whole, I feel like it affects everybody differently. I just know for me in my time that I've been in Connecticut, it's been something I've blown off. If I'm being honest, I just feel like every year nobody is usually favoring us, and we're still accomplishing more and more every year. So it's not having an effect on me, and I honestly don't think it's having an effect on the team. I think that's the thing about us in this organization is we're so focused on us and our goals and enjoying having this group together as long as we can that, it doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks about us. When we get on that court, none of that is going to help us win or lose. So I just think it comes with the territory. You want to, we're breaking we had a lot of young players that were breaking out, having breakout years season after season, and now to assert ourselves and really be in conversations with the LAs and teams that have won championships, we need to win a championship. So, if we really want people to start talking about us consistently and actually being on the bandwagon, we just got to get it done, and that's our focus. Is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. But I think we have the experience, I think we have the talent, and we're healthy enough to get that done.
Well, just to remind the fans, people that are listening, Tuesday, September 17th, Thursday, September 19th, and they're not even going to need Thursday, September 26th, but I'm just going to tell you about it anyway. 6:30, there's no excuses for, it's an 8 o'clock game or it's a 9 o'clock game. 6:30 at Mohegan Sun Arena, your Connecticut Sun playing in the semifinals. Jazz, good luck and congratulations again on the honors and everything that has been worked for all season. It's great to see for people like you and for your teammates the success that you're having.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And again, thanks for always having me on here. I love being on this show. It's one of my favorites for sure.
Always a pleasure. Thanks again, Jazz.